We're back for our daily NBA best bets here on Friday, January 9th. Hopefully, all 5 of our games actually get played today. Obviously, yesterday with the Chicago Bulls game against the Miami Heat getting canceled and postponed due to condensation on the court. The game was played indoors, or was scheduled to play indoors. I've never seen that one before, but it is what it is. We've got a lot more games today here at the NBA. We've got a loaded slate, so we're going to have 5 best bets, obviously, and again, hopefully, all 5 bets actually happen, and hopefully our players don't get injured like Anthony Davis does every single game he plays. Oh my goodness. Anyways, folks, before we get into the video, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for some more daily NBA best bets here on the channel. Earlier today, we posted our college basketball best bets, so go make sure to check that out if you have not yet. Also on the channel, our college football predictions, today being the Peach Bowl between the Oregon Ducks and the Indiana Hoosiers, and our NFL predictions, best bets later today, best player props likely later today as well. I think I'm going to post both of them today. We'll see. Anyways, also on Greedo Plays MMA, we are back over there. We posted our full predictions for who I think is going to be the champions in each weight class at the end of 2026. So we can get our future plays in over there with the Ultimate Fighting Championship. You're not going to want to miss that video as well. Everything linked in the description down below. Okay, on to the first now of our 5 best bets today for the NBA, kicking things off at the Boston Garden with the Boston Celtics and the Toronto Raptors. Peyton Pritchard, over 16.5 points all day long. The Celtics looking to bounce back after a bad loss to the Denver Nuggets, and I will keep hammering this one in. Hey, buy stock while you can. Celtics to win the East. Just wait till they get an Ivica Zubac, or wait till they get a center. I like Neemias Queta, but wait till they get a premier center. Oh boy, we're going to be up with the Boston Celtics, believe you me. And I'm saying this, I'm a Lakers guy. I can't believe I have to cheer for the Celtics for the rest of the year. Hey, that's what good value's got me doing though, okay? Like, Boston's winning the East, and it's pretty easy. Like, I think it's such an easy play, especially with Tatum coming back. Anyways, I'm taking Peyton Pritchard today over 16.5 points. Pritchard, I keep saying it, has done such a great job adapting into that starting role. Obviously, this is the former 6th man of the year for the Boston Celtics, a guy who had never started more than 5 games in an entire season going into this year. And now, obviously, in every single game Pritchard has played, he has started. He goes from averaging 14.5 points off the bench last season to now averaging 17 in the starting lineup this year. And obviously, again, the injury to Jason Tatum is a big reason in why Pritchard has played such a monumental role on the Celtics this season. But again, no Tatum yet. Pritchard is going to be completely fine tonight. Again, we need 16.5, so 17 from Pritchard. Last game for him, exactly 17 points, playing 34 minutes against the Denver Nuggets, going 1 for 6 from beyond the three-point line and scoring 17. Again, when I always look at player props, we got to look at opportunity and shot volume. Okay, well, Peyton Pritchard is averaging in this month 34 minutes. He averaged 34 minutes in December. That is a pretty common occurrence again for Pritchard. He's going to play most of the game. We got to think about opportunity with minutes and who the Celtics are playing tonight. Toronto, a team that they should beat, but a team that I think will play them fairly tight going into the fourth quarter, where likely I expect the Celtics to just pull away. So Pritchard's going to be on the court for a right amount of time today to at least get his points. And then you got to look at shot volume. I mean, Peyton Pritchard is a guy who is going to get anywhere from 10 to potentially 18 shots a game. And especially from the three-point line or from beyond the three-point line, you're going to see Pritchard at a minimum take probably 5 three-pointers. Usually it's up into the 7s, the 8s, the 9s, the 10s. Again, opportunity and shot volume is 100% there for Pritchard, a guy who has kind of struggled recently from the three-point line, at least for Peyton Pritchard's expectations and standards. He's been shooting about 30% from beyond the arc. Obviously, we expect that to continue to pick up as the season goes on. He started off the season very hot, at least in November. He shot 41% from beyond the three-point line. Again, we can expect his three-point percentage and average to continue to climb as the season progresses. But tonight, again, we don't care how Pritchard gets it done. We just need 17 points. And I believe we're going to find a way towards that. Again, last 2 games for Peyton Pritchard had 21 and 17 respectively against Chicago. Much better, outlook night, or a much better production night for Pritchard than he had against Denver. Pritchard against the Bulls, 31 points, 4 for 7 from beyond the arc, 8 for 17 from the field, and 21 points. The Celtics are playing the Raptors tonight. Again, a matchup that what I look at is going to be, again, a competitive matchup, but a game Boston should be expected to win. Not seeing many injuries in the injury report today for the Celtics. I think everyone but Josh Minot's playing, so you're going to get the normal starting five for Boston, being Pritchard, White, Brown. We'll see what they do at the 4 between Sam Hauser and Jordan Walsh, and then obviously Neemias Queta at the 5. It is important to also track again what Toronto's got going for this game. This is a Raptors team that has won 3 games in a row, but a Raptors team that is very injured going into this game. Jakob Poeltl, who is approaching a return, will not be back tonight, and then potentially no Brandon Ingram and no Scotty Barnes tonight for the Raptors, as Ingram is nursing a thumb injury and Scotty Barnes is questionable due to a right knee sprain. Matchup for Peyton Pritchard, obviously we're going to see him against the guards of Toronto. We're looking at Emmanuel Quickley. We're looking at it's probably going to be the matchup all night long. Jamal Shed off the bench. Again, we know what Shed can do. Very physical defender, a guy who played at the University of Houston a couple years ago. I'm a big Jamal Shed fan, but I still think Peyton Pritchard's going to find his opportunities, and we just need that three-point ball to get going early in this game, something that he has struggled with a little bit, but again, we just saw last 2 games, even in bad nights, especially the Denver game, Pritchard still hit 17 points. He's going to find his shot volume, and as a whole, I have fairly high confidence that Peyton Pritchard is going to find a way to 17 points tonight, as long as he plays the full 4 quarters, unlike Anthony Davis. Peyton Pritchard over 16.5 at home for the Celtics tonight at -120. Okay, on now to the second of our 5 best bets. We go to our first of 3 moneyline/spread plays, and we first look at the Washington Wizards at home against the New Orleans Pelicans. I think the Trae Young trade to DC is it's very clear in showing us what the Wizards are going to be for the rest of 2026. Now, I know that's not something that, people are dying to figure out, what are the Wizards going to be for the rest of the year, but it is very telling for us, at least from a betting perspective and how to approach Washington for the rest of the season. They aren't trying to win. The Wizards are this is like their last ride in terms of tanking. This is the last tanking opportunity for Washington before they actually put together that contender next year. It kind of reminds me, honestly, of what Toronto did last year when the Raptors traded for Brandon Ingram at the trade deadline. Ingram actually never suited up for Toronto as the season expired, and then obviously they've been built for a playoff run this year. Again, we'll see how it works for Washington, but I would expect the Wizards to continue to tank this season and then look to really build a contender next year, potentially, adding a big free agent alongside Trae Young and continuing obviously to build that depth. Now, I believe the Wizards pick is held by someone else if it's not in the top 8. I gotta check who it is, but as long as they finish in the top 8, it is going to be their pick. I believe, again, the protection rights likely shifts it to next year, so obviously then an emphasis would be on winning next year for the Wizards, but I'm just checking this out right now. It's OKC has it? How does OKC have everybody's pick? I need to read the exact pick protection for the Wizards right now, so I'm going to read it as it states. In 2026, OKC will receive the 2 most favorable of its 2026 first-round picks between the Houston first-round pick, protected from selections 1 through 4, the Clippers first-round pick, and the Washington and Wizards will receive the least favorable of these. If the Houston pick falls within its protected range and therefore is not conveyed, then Houston will then instead convey its 2026 second-round pick to OKC. Oh, but then there's another swap. Okay, but then, so here's the thing. The Wizards have a swap. The Thunder have so many things involved. So actually forget I said that because this is really what matters. Washington will receive the most favorable pick of its 2026 first-round pick for selections 9 through 30 and the Phoenix first-round pick as well. So if their pick falls out of the top 8, then they can swap it with Phoenix, but then they also have protection on it 1 through 8? I think that's how that works. Okay, so the Wizards essentially have their pick. It's 100% guaranteed if they have it within the top 8. But if, obviously if they pick this year, then that means it goes to OKC next year, right? I think the protection might be done after the season. The NBA is weird with its picks. I think they actually have their protection going forward through next season, I think, from what I've seen. Okay, so Washington just has to finish top 8, and that's a very good idea, and that gives us a very good idea of what the Wizards will be looking to accomplish for the rest of the year, and it's very telling that they, trade for Trae Young, but now they're saying there's potentially a chance that Trae Young doesn't even suit up this season for the Wizards. I would imagine he's going to play some, but honestly, we might see some serious tanking going down for the Wizards this year. Why play Trae? He's kind of been injured with the quad injury, had that long-standing injury, obviously, for Atlanta, has not played since December 27th in that loss where he played horribly against the New York Knicks, which is very unlike Trae Young, at least, against New York. But the Wizards make that trade. Awesome trade for Washington, just giving up Corey Kispert, who can be a very solid asset, I will say, on the bench for Atlanta, and CJ McCollum, which I don't think offers them much. But getting Trae on this Washington team does this team wonders. And again, they should be looking to build a contender going forward next year. I mean, right now, as it stands, they would hold the 4th pick in the draft, which would allow them to likely get Caleb Wilson, who obviously is not on the level of a Debonsta, of a Peterson, or a Cam Boozer. But you add Caleb Wilson to this team, and all of a sudden, with no free agents, you're starting Trae Young, Keyshawn George, Bilal Coulibaly, Caleb Wilson, and Alex Sarr. And then say you get, with all due respect to Bilal Coulibaly, I know he's got a very interesting fan base who really like him. He's played good basketball this season. You then send Coulibaly to the bench and get an actual 3. Oh my goodness. The Wizards might be nasty next season. With Trae Young, obviously, who led the Hawks to an Eastern Conference Finals a couple years ago, I guess 4 years ago now, 5 years ago now. Wow, time is flying. That puts Trae in a really great position. As for tonight, I know I haven't really talked at all about the Pelicans yet. I haven't at all. I think the Pels are going to beat the Wizards. Again, it is very clear the direction of the Washington Wizards going forward. We don't want to win this year. We are built for next season, and I do believe in a one-game spot. Again, will Trae play? Will he not play down the stretch? I don't know. But I will say this. For as much as we think the Wizards won that trade and they did kind of scam the Hawks, and the Hawks were just looking to get off of that Trae Young contract, CJ McCollum has been the Wizards' top scorer all year long. Last game he played on Tuesday against Orlando for the Wizards, CJ McCollum dropped 27 points. And obviously he did not play in their last game, both him and Kispert, because they were on the verge of being traded. Neither of them played in Philadelphia against the 76ers. Still, McCollum does a lot of their scoring. And obviously you're replacing that with Trae Young, and going forward you weren't thinking of having CJ McCollum because he's 36. But for the time being, yeah, McCollum was helping you win. He no longer can obviously offer you that because he's not on the team. So who does the scoring tonight for Washington? Trey Johnson, Bilal Coulibaly, Bub Carrington, some solid guys, but it won't be enough to beat New Orleans, a Pelicans team who's coming off of a lot of L's. I understand they're 8-31. They have not won a game so far in the calendar year of 2026. Held their last victory comes back on December 22nd against the Dallas Mavericks. There is still talent on this Pelicans team. We talk about stars being traded. Zion? Is Zion getting moved? Is he not? I don't know. We shall see. But the Pels will have Zion Williamson tonight. They will have Derek Queen playing. Jordan Poole will be playing as well. I think Trey Murphy potentially is out tonight. Murphy questionable, so we'll see. Herbert Jones still out. He's another, trade talk guy right now. But I think the Pelicans have enough talent to win this game. I know, again, they've been losing a lot. But, I mean, that Lakers game, man, they were very competitive against Los Angeles. They were actually favored going into the fourth quarter. I may or may not have hammered Lakers money line. I know I don't put them out in the videos anymore, but kind of had to back on Tuesday. Regardless, though, the Pelicans are playing all right. And Zion and Jordan Poole and hopefully Trey Murphy and Derek Queen, it should be enough for them to beat a Wizards team, which still, again, traded for Trae Young, but has no trade tonight, and no longer do they have CJ McCollum. I'm going New Orleans to go on the road and win the game. Pelicans, -135. Hopefully I don't regret that. Pelicans in a best bets video. Ooh. Next up, we go to Denver, Colorado for the Denver Nuggets and the Atlanta Hawks. So we talk about one part of the Trae Young, CJ McCollum trade. Let's talk about the second part of this trade. No, I didn't intentionally do this. I just liked the matchups. I like the money lines. Give me Denver at home to beat the Atlanta Hawks. I know Atlanta, you can kind of say, had been playing better basketball this season post Trae Young, without Trae Young in the lineup, and I guess that's the case. But the Hawks now will go on the road to take on Denver. The Atlanta is still 18-21. CJ McCollum, I think, is going to play off the bench for the Hawks. No, he's got to start, right? He's not going to play today. I don't expect either McCollum or Kispert to play. CJ currently dealing with a quad injury. Corey Kispert dealing with a hamstring. We'll see what happens with those guys. I would assume they probably debut at home in their next game. I think they're back at home next. No, actually, they're on the road for a while. Never mind. Maybe they debut on Sunday in Golden State. I don't know. In San Francisco against the Warriors. I don't know when those guys will finally play for Atlanta. I don't expect it to be today, though. So, and again, that is a factor because CJ McCollum can score. He's averaging, near 19 this season. Corey Kispert is a very good shooter off the bench. He can help you out. Those guys likely not playing tonight for Atlanta. Atlanta taking on Denver, and I thought we'd see this huge slide for the Nuggets post-Jokic injury. I guess I was wrong. This team closed out the road trip very hot. They had lost 3 of 4 on the road trip. You lose your MVP. You lose one of the best players in the sport. And yet this team finds a way on a second out of a back-to-back to win in overtime with no Jamal Murray, no Aaron Gordon, no Christian Braun. Yep, they do it with Jamie Pickett and those guys. And yeah, they beat the Philadelphia 76ers on the road. Jalen Pickett. Jamie Pickett was a UFC fighter, right? Yeah, he was. And then the Nuggets most recently go on the road and beat the damn Boston Celtics. Yeah, the team that I've been raving about winning the Eastern Conference, and I still believe it. But anyways, huge win for Denver in back-to-back games. Even with the Jokic injury kind of hindering their road trip, their East Coast trip, they find a way to salvage it. Now they're back at home for 2 games, Atlanta tonight, Milwaukee on Sunday. I believe they beat the Atlanta Hawks. And yes, a lot of this is dependent on who actually plays tonight for Denver, because I'm looking at this, lineup. Everyone is a game time decision. Legitimately, 5 of their rotational pieces are game time decisions for tonight. I have a feeling that pretty much all of them are going to play. Again, they're all game time decisions, but when you really look into the injuries, Jamal Murray, probable with the left ankle sprain. Aaron Gordon, probable with the hamstring injury. Christian Brown, probable with the left ankle sprain. Bruce Brown, probable with right knee inflammation. The only one who's questionable is Spencer Jones, who's got an ankle injury plus an illness, so we'll see what happens to him. But all of these guys are going to play, and I know the injuries are still adding up for Denver. Jokic out, Cameron Johnson out, Jonas Valanciunas out. That's why the Nuggets have been subjected to playing both Deron Holmes and Zeke Naji at the 5, but yet they find ways to win. And all I needed to see was Jamal Murray, Christian Brown, and Aaron Gordon playing. Those 3 guys alone will be enough to beat Atlanta. And again, against elite teams in the NBA, is that good enough? Obviously not. But against the Hawks, I do think it's going to be enough. Atlanta obviously has shifted the face of the franchise over from Trae Young to Jalen Johnson. Johnson's been phenomenal this year. He's averaging 24 points, 10 rebounds, and 8 assists per game. He's a near triple-double every single night. Again, a superstar in the making, potentially. Jalen Johnson better be an all-star this season. Johnson does a lot for this team, but is it enough to beat Denver on the road? I don't think so. The Hawks are kind of just a lesser version of what the Nuggets do. High tempo, high three-point shot, or high three-point percentage, at least in terms of just what they do in terms of games. I like Atlanta. I like them a little less, though, now with Trae Young. And yes, now you shift permanently Nickeil Alexander-Walker to the starting lineup, which I think is great, until, though, you realize what's coming off of your bench. Potentially now that CJ McCollum leading your bench unit if you are going to start CJ instead of Nickeil Alexander-Walker. But again, what I thought was going to make the Hawks so dangerous in the playoffs and down the stretch this season was the fact that you could go to such a great scorer in Nickeil Alexander-Walker off the bench. And I understand you didn't pay that guy that much money to continuously come off the bench, averaging 20.5 points per game, but man, was he doing a great job commanding that second unit and giving that Hawks lineup a big boost off the bench. So we'll see what Atlanta does now. Again, obviously, I don't think McCollum's going to play regardless, so we're going to see Alexander-Walker tonight still starting, and we'll see what they do for the future with McCollum coming in. I don't imagine he'd start over Dyson Daniels, and maybe the solution likely is a Zachary Risachet trade, but if you're trading Risachet, who's a former number 1 overall pick just 2 years ago, I'd imagine you're getting a starter in return. So I don't know what they're going to do with their guard situation. As for tonight, I expect the Nuggets to win. It's not being talked about enough how well Jamal Murray's played this year, averaging 25 points per game. He's been just absolutely great for this team. Legitimately one of the best guards in the NBA. That 3-point shot, absolute money most nights. I would imagine Denver wins this game with Jamal Murray, Aaron Gordon, and Christian Brown all playing tonight. Got to go Denver money line at home against Atlanta. Remember they played last year in January. I believe it was New Year's Day these 2 teams played in Denver, and the Nuggets clutched it out. Obviously, it's a different Atlanta team, different Denver team without Joker, but I'm still taking the Nuggets at home to win the game. Give me minus 125 for the Denver Nuggets over the Atlanta Hawks. On to our 4th best bet of the video. Why wouldn't I do it again? Portland Trailblazers spread plus 6.5 at home against the Houston Rockets. I mean, my thought process is why not? I just saw this game. And it was thought that the Rockets had walked it off. Kevin Durant misses at the end of the game. You think the tip-in is good and it's in time. Obviously, it was not by Tari Eason, so the Rockets lose. It is what it is. Portland wins the game by 1 point. We didn't need them to win, even though it was great. We just needed the Blazers to cover. I need to remember the exact line. It was 6.5. So the same exact line we're getting for this game. It's literally, I don't even know why I made another graphic. It's same everything. Houston was a minus 245 favorite in the first game. Portland was a plus 200 dog, and Portland was a 6.5 point underdog, and we took this exact line just 2 days ago. I'm going to take it again, because why wouldn't I? Guys, going to Portland is so difficult. You don't want to run into the Blazers in Portland, Oregon, because they just give you hell. It's a tough matchup because, again, their offensive rebounding game is just great, and that's Donovan Clingan, especially a Rockets team without Alfred Şengün, who is still out, obviously, for tonight. What changes other than the fact that maybe Houston this time wins a close game? Regardless of what happens tonight in Portland, I expect the game to be extremely close. And, you can clown on Adjiva all you want. Again, I'm not the biggest fan because I don't think his style of play is all that entertaining, but I gotta give the man his due. Adjiva is having an all-star year. Now, the fact that he's got more votes than LeBron for the all-star game is disgusting, but shout out to Adjiva. He's playing good basketball. Denny's averaging 26.5 points per game this season. Just dropped 41 on Houston a couple nights ago. And again, you can look at the free throw line. It's not great. 13 for 15 from the free throw line. 13 for 24 from the field, 2 of 9 from beyond the arc, and that's just what Portland does. They're going to overwhelm you with volume from the three-point line. That's how they can get back into games and stay in games. It's because, they're not the best three-point shooting team, but they're just going to keep chucking them up. Every player on this lineup shoots three-pointers, essentially. Kamara is going to shoot threes. He went 2 for 7. Adjiva goes 2 for 9. Klingon goes 2 for 6 as he continues to evolve that three-point game. Shaden Sharp goes 3 for 6. Young Hassan goes 1 for 3. Caleb Love goes 2 for 6. Ryan Rupert goes 0 for 1. Yet they continue to shoot him because they're able to get offensive rebounds. Klingon actually had 1-0 board against Houston, but there's Kamara with 3 of them himself. They get second chance opportunities, they fight for the basketball, and Denny Adjiva is going to bail them out, and the referees are going to bail Portland out by getting him to the free throw line. If they were able to win 2 nights ago, why would this one be any different? Other than, again, maybe Houston wins it this time around. I can't guarantee anything, but I have to expect this game to be competitive yet again, especially without Alfred Şengün. Because the Rockets are good. Don't get me wrong. The Rockets are a good team without Alfred Şengün. Obviously, though, what puts them over the top this season is Şengün, or I guess Kevin Durant technically is the guy who does, officially put them over the top considering what they were last season. But you know what I mean, right? This team right now without Şengün, they're all right. Obviously, much better with Şengün, who's I would have to think a top 5 center in the sport, a top 7 if you get picky on that. It is what it is. I mean, they're starting Steven Adams right now or Houston, which, again, Adams will get you rebounds, and Adams and Eason and Amen Thompson did a great job on the glass, really limiting those second chance opportunities for Portland. Yet, again, the Blazers still win the game. But, I mean, you had 13 boards at Atari Eason, you had 11 boards at Steven Adams, and you had 12 rebounds for Amen Thompson. The problem, though, with going from Alfred Şengün to Steven Adams, obviously due to injury, is that Adams is not going to score. I mean, yeah, he scored 7 points against Portland, but you're taking away Şengün, who's a 22 points per game scorer a night, and legitimately has excellent post moves that can attack the rim. He can find ways to hit that mid-range shot, and unfortunately, Steven Adams doesn't entirely do that. So that's a big problem for Houston in this game specifically, and I think the Blazers are going to do it again. I think they likely win the game outright. Portland and Houston on, what was that, Wednesday night was just close the entire game. I mean, that's just how Portland games go. Like, they just hang in him. And sure, if you remember that Clippers game, I think it was the day after Christmas, they played the Clippers, and they were up the entire outing, and the Clippers just had a strong fourth quarter. But for the most part in Blazers games, they just hang around, and they play those clutch games, and either they win them or they don't. Obviously, that goes without saying, but they usually can get into close games. Now, how do they actually close games, and are they all that great in closing games? That's neither here or there. Obviously, they're much better at home at the Moda Center closing them. Regardless, though, their games are competitive. And you look at that entire first half against Houston, I mean, they just don't let Houston get away. Portland goes into halftime actually with, I believe, a 10-point lead. It was a 10-point lead. And then that entire second half is, okay, how does Houston get back in that basketball game to the point where now all of a sudden it's a 3-point game and Houston's back in it. But now, we've only got 3 minutes left. And all of a sudden, okay, well, Durant's taking a shot to win the game. He misses. Obviously, the putback doesn't, obviously not in time. But to our perspective, we don't care, because the Blazers are covering the spread. And they find ways to slow games down as well, because, again, it's hard to come back if it's a slow-paced game, and that's what happens when Adjiva gets the free throw line so much. The entire team doesn't really shoot that many free throws. It's just, personally, Adjiva, I believe, has to be the leading free throw shooter in the NBA this season. Maybe behind Harden or Shea, but I don't know. The guy legitimately averages 14 free throws per game. I think he has to be the leading free throw guy in the league this season. He does just force his way into the basket, and yes, the referees are kind to Adjiva at times as well, but regardless, that's how they win, that's how they stay close, and don't look now, the Blazers currently are on a 4-game winning streak, and they do currently hold the 9th spot in the Western Conference, above currently the Memphis Grizzlies, Portland with 4 straight victories over New Orleans, San Antonio both on the road, by the way, and then Utah and Houston at home as well. Why wouldn't they cover 6.5 in the second matchup between these two teams? Got to go with Portland at home, plus 6.5 against Kevin Durant and the Houston Rockets. On to our final best bet of the video. Why not again? I don't want to continue to just go to the well in the same thing, but Luka Doncic over 34.5 points for the Los Angeles Lakers at home tonight against the Milwaukee Bucks. Luka will torch this garbage-ass team. Need I say more? You know what the Bucks do well. Give the ball to Giannis and get the hell out the way. And it's coming out like Giannis is saying, "Oh, I'm here to stay. It's my city. I would never want to be traded from here." Really? I mean, sure, I guess. Obviously, the Bucks are in discussion about potentially getting a new center, which they should probably do because Miles Turner sucks at basketball. He's horrible. Maybe he should just retire at this point. The guy's just an awful player, and he can't rebound. So anyways, by the way, DeAndre Ayton probably over on boards tonight as well, but specifically I'm going to go Luka, just because I don't know how the Bucks hold Luka Doncic. I mean, it's a matchup that obviously is not seen often because it's the East versus the West, obviously. But I mean, what Luka's doing this season is absurd. And I said this a couple days ago. It might have been yesterday or the day before. Luka's at this point now where he's almost underrated. No, I'll say no, he is underrated. Luka Doncic is an underrated basketball player. And I don't want to just straight put this and just, pin this, it's because he's on the Lakers, but it's true. If Luka was still in Dallas, I don't think he'd win the MVP because of what Shea's doing, and Shea just dropped 40 the other night, and obviously Shea is on a historic team. Well, they're not really historic anymore, but on a championship-winning team, and he, obviously a much better defender than Luka Doncic. I understand. Again, trust me, I sing Shea's praises all the damn time. But it's to the point now where Luka is honestly underrated. And say what you want, maybe that's just, Shea being so great. And I talked about this with Ant the other day as well. Like, Ant's great, but he just gets overshadowed by SGA, who, by the way, is not playing tonight against Memphis with an ankle sprain. I guess he played 40-something minutes the other night. But the production Luka's been putting up this season is crazy. I know, again, efficiency-wise, he may not be the best, because Luka from the three-point line is shooting 31% this season. I don't love it. And that's always been a concern this season for at least just watching Lakers games. I mean, the Luka chucks and the wasted possessions that Luka will have. He'll dribble it out for 20 seconds, pass it to Braun once, then shot clock's expiring, I give it back to Luka, he'll put it up. Or Luka dribbles it out, walks down a defender, and then goes that step back three and takes it. And it's like, all right, that's cool. And when he makes it, usually in the fourth quarter, obviously Luka is still a very clutch player, he'll hit those shots late in games, but first three quarters I'm watching and I'm like, okay, sure, I guess. Yeah, keep dribbling those guys down all game long. It's to the point, though, where he is underrated because he plays in Los Angeles. Because no one disliked Luka when he was Dallas for the most part. Obviously, certain fan bases had their feelings, obviously, and that's every player in the association. Now everyone at least, watches Luka games under a tighter microscope. And, everyone has their opinions on Los Angeles in general, and Luka is going to get his fair share of dislike. I understand Luka does force his way to the free throw line. He's putting up, actually, he averages about the same amount of free throws per game as Denny Adjiva. And I understand, that's Luka's whole game, and is it entertaining at times? I don't know. He makes up for it, obviously, with those big three-pointers he hits, and I know defensively, Luka isn't the best. I get it. He takes possessions off defensively, which has been a big concern of mine, just a discussion point that I hate talking about, but I have to say it because I hate how the Lakers don't play defense in most games, but it's neither here or there. Luka's production scoring-wise has been through the roof this season. 38 points against San Antonio. We talked about it the other day. I felt crazy taking a line, casually, Luka over 35.5 points. Yeah, sign me up, right? And we're talking about Jaylen Brown's is going to need to have a big night tonight. We need Jaylen Brown to score 31 points. And then I bring up Luka. Yeah, we need 36. And he gets it, though. Luka scores 38, takes 26 shots, takes 9 3-pointers, only hits 2, and then 10 for 16 from the free throw line. That percentage needs to be a lot better. Luka's been shooting 70% from the free throw line in the month. This year, Luka's shooting still 79% from the free throw line. But anyways, Luka's free throw game needs to, we need that to be in the 80s. But anyways, Doncic's production, at least just pure scoring-wise, is still absurd. He posts a 38-point triple-double against San Antonio, obviously in a losing effort, but there is Doncic putting up 38, 10, and 10. He's averaging 34.5 points in the month, 34 against Memphis, 36 against Memphis, 30 against New Orleans, and 38 against the Spurs. But when you need him to show up, he is going to show up. And by the way, Milwaukee's not a very good defensive team. Not at all. Luka should have a field day shooting. And I think if Luka wants to drive as well, the interior presence is Miles Turner or Bobby Portis. I understand Giannis is standing there sometimes, which can be tricky, but this should be a field day for Luka Doncic scoring-wise. In terms of the Lakers, it looks like LeBron James is returning to the lineup tonight. We just knew, again, LeBron's not going to play the second night of a back-to-back, so that's why he didn't play the San Antonio game. Braun is currently listed as questionable with the foot injury / sciatica. Rui Hachimura might return tonight with the calf injury, so that's cool, I guess. The Lakers don't play again until the 12th on Monday, and then there's another back-to-back for LeBron, so we'll see if he plays. If I had to guess, Braun probably just doesn't play the first game of the back-to-back in Sacramento, but who cares? Obviously, I care about the Lakers, but we just need Luka tonight, okay? Ultimately, I'm taking Luka Doncic to go over 34.5 points. I think the matchup against the Bucks is very favorable for him, and let's not forget, again, this is a guy who averages 34 points per game, but a guy who just dropped 38 yesterday when we needed him to drop 36. Luka, finds a way towards 38 points. He leads the NBA in points for a reason. I'm going to go with the Don, Luka Doncic tonight, over 34.5 points at home against the Milwaukee Bucks. Folks, thank y'all for watching our NBA Best Bets here on January 9th. If you have not yet, though, make sure to hit that subscribe button down below for more. Make sure to leave a like if you did enjoy the video. Make sure to comment if you disagree with any of the picks. We'll be back tomorrow for more daily NBA Best Bets. Go make sure to check out our college basketball Best Bets and NFL Best Bets as well. Folks, thank y'all for watching, and Mamba forever.